So we're going to do this meditation now, and we're going to clear out the emotion of overwhelm, and we're going to replace it with feelings of clarity and peace and an overflow of resources. Because if you have more than enough time to gather your thoughts, time to respond, time to think things through, time to release, to relax. Relaxation will also be part of this as well, because I think you can't be overwhelmed and relaxed at the same time. To be honest, you can't run any two emotions that are contradictory at the same time. So you can't run overwhelm and peace, as you're probably aware. So we're going to clear out the overwhelm. We're going to replace it with the opposite. So peace, relaxation, space, and that should really help you get through this. And you can come back and do this meditation as many times as you want. It'll be a timestamp in the video, so you can just jump straight through. Now, if you're first time doing this, just remember you want to be in a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. You want to be seated with your feet flat on the ground and your back straight in a chair, similar to mine if you can. And then you just need to relax, close your eyes, and just listen to the sound of my voice. There's no music, there's nothing like that. And we will move and drift into a deep state, and we will do the energy clearing. Okay, let's get started. Meditation for clearing overwhelm. Just feel yourself seated in the chair with your feet on the ground and your hands lightly resting on your thighs. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just focus on your breathing and let your attention follow your breath. Notice the breath in and notice the breath out. And I want you to think about where your energy has been, your attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. So if you've had your attention on things that have been happening today, yesterday, things coming up, I want you to imagine them as red dots and just draw all of those red dots to the center of your head. We're just calling all of your attention and your energy into the center of your head. And now we're going to ground ourselves. So we do this so that we have somewhere to clear out energy. And energy is always changing form. So we are transforming energy from one property to another. And we do this all the time unconsciously, but in this session, we're going to do it consciously. So just imagine a cord, a tube, a pipe that goes from the base of your spine, from the sitting bone, all the way down to the center of the earth. Just imagine. Could be a lift, could be a pipe, a tube, a string. Pick a color for it. Just don't pick white, gray, or black, or silver. Any other color, blue, green, purple. Give it textures, stripes, lines, anything you want. Just give it a color. And then I want you to widen that tube to be the width of your body. And then I want you to widen it to be the width of your aura or your electromagnetic field, whatever you prefer to call it, which if you had your arms outstretched, that's how wide it would be. Doesn't need to be perfect. There's a downward flow with this grounding cord. So energy is already starting to fall out of you and out of your space. And this is just energy that's ready to leave. It goes all the way down that tube to the center of the earth where it transmutes into something else. And now I want you to imagine a waterfall of golden energy coming down through the top of your head, through your seventh energy center, through the crown, and it flows. Just imagine the feeling of a waterfall, that fresh, bubbly water, but imagine it as golden colored, coming through the top of your crown, and really feel it as if it was water, like a waterfall, but it's golden. So you get that sense of the texture, the feeling. Maybe it feels cold. Just make it really vivid. The more vivid your imagination, the more powerfully you command energy. So it's coming through your head, through your neck. It's just washing and cleansing your head. It's coming through your neck, through your shoulders, down your chest, down each arm, all the way to your fingers, down your waist, down through your hips, your upper legs, your lower legs, and out through your feet. It goes down through your whole electromagnetic field from the top. It washes all the way through it and down through this pipe, this grounding cord to the center of the earth. It's just washing everything out, cleansing you like a shower, washing off all that low frequency energy, things that you just don't need in your space anymore. Okay. We're going to work with different objects, and you're going to see them out in front of you in your imagination, a bit like when you dream. Or when I say picture a tree in your mind, then an image of a tree comes up in your mind. And everyone's tree will look different, and that's totally fine. This is what's right for you. And when you read a book, you picture the scenes in your mind. We're going to be doing the same thing in these meditations. So just clear out the tree and just imagine a screen in front of you, like a movie screen. And on that screen is a box, quite a big box, like a chest. So if you were going to keep clothes or bedding in a chest, like a wooden chest, or my dad used to keep his records and his record player in his chest. So it's a wooden chest, and you see it in front of you on your screen. And we're going to open it, and we just lift up the lid and let it fall back behind itself. So it just flips all the way over and comes to rest. And inside this box, we're going to have a look at the kind of things that have been giving you this energy of overwhelm. And we're not going to be in the overwhelm. We're not going to identify with the overwhelm. We're going to look at it as if we were sitting in a movie theater and we're just watching. We're observing. So I want you to notice the space between you and this box. So you aren't the box, you aren't in the box. There's space between you and the box. And in that box are going to be these large photographs of the things that have been causing you overwhelm. And we're going to look at them the way a scientist would. We're going to look at them and think, that's interesting. So we can have some separation. It's easier to clear energy if we're not identified or attached to it. So I want you to think of a moment now, and you're going to pull out this huge photograph, which is actually the size of a big record. And you're going to pick it up with two hands. You're doing this all in your mind through imagination. And you're going to have a look at this picture. And it's going to be a picture of a scene where you felt overwhelmed. And in that moment, you felt like you couldn't cope. And you couldn't see a way out. And you felt a bit trapped in that energy, in that space. It was just too much. And you may have had some other emotions around it. So just pull that photo out now and have a look at it. Have a look at the scene where you felt overwhelmed and it was hard to cope. Notice where you were, notice the other people in the scene, and notice what was happening. And there are many scenes in your life where tough things happen and you don't get overwhelmed. You're actually quite triumphant in those situations. You actually remain really calm under pressure. And I want you to pick up another photo where something pretty big happened and you didn't get overwhelmed. Maybe it was an urgent deadline at work. Maybe an incident happened and you got called to help. Something unexpected happened, or a situation was quite charged, but you didn't feel overwhelmed. And just hold them one in each hand. So you're looking at these big photos. And it's interesting with emotions because they don't necessarily make logical sense. Surely, if you get overwhelmed, you'd be overwhelmed in every big situation, but it's not the case. So there are times when you can respond in a very calm way and you feel very grounded and you can handle anything. And then there's some instances where you feel really overwhelmed. Now, we're not going to analyze them because this is not an intellectual process. We're merely observing the fact that this is not logical and that it's an energy that comes in and we are sort of held captive to it. We can't stop for a minute and go, whoa, overwhelm, out the door, please. We can't. We just, until the moment has passed and we've been able to gather some composure, we're completely held captive to that emotion. So it's not a logical emotion. It is not your truth. It's not the truth of who you are, but it is an emotion that comes in and then you can't react in the way that you want to. So we're going to acknowledge that in ourselves, that this is not something wrong with us. So I want you to take the picture that has the overwhelm in it, the scene, and I want you to run gold through that picture. That's the energy of forgiveness. And we're going to forgive yourself, forgive the circumstance, forgive any other people, animals, objects that were involved in the scene. So I want you to run gold. You can imagine it as a gold paint that's dripping down and covering the painting or the photo, or you can imagine just brushing gold over the whole picture. But make sure the entire picture is covered in gold and let it drip off the bottom of the photo so that after a while the gold falls away and you see the picture again. And I want you to run some gold through the other picture, the picture where you had composure and you were calm in a situation. I want you to run gold through that one too. It's just clear the energy of both situations. And now I want you to put those photos back in the box. I want you to pick out another one. This is another scene. Try and pick something quite different where you felt overwhelmed. It could have been the way someone treated you. It could have been too many demands. I'm seeing a lot of demands in your space. So I'd say too many demands, demands from different people, conflicting demands, and where you feel like, what about me? What about me being okay throughout this whole thing? Okay, I'm also seeing scenarios where people are experiencing political conflicts, um, being asked to do things that you don't have the skill set to do. So you feel overwhelmed by the task because, hey, I've never done this. I'm being asked to do things I don't have the skill set for. I don't feel comfortable doing it. I'm being handed a lot of responsibility. Oh, it looks like demand, responsibility. Uh, these are pretty big ones for you guys. So hopefully you have another picture now. Falling behind. There's another one for overwhelm. Or not being able to maintain your own standards, right? Well, I can't operate at my preferred standard, or I could make mistakes because I have too much on. I can't do it. Or I got no time to rest, relax, and think clearly because I'm just always go, go, go. Not performing at my best, not feeling at my best. Okay, so hopefully you have the picture now. And I want you to ground this picture to the center of the earth with the same colored grounding cord and pick another one. So with your other free hand, pick up another picture that is a picture of overwhelm or too many demands, too much responsibility, too much expectation, or where you feel trapped. You feel a bit trapped in a situation and you don't feel like you have the energy or the skills to deal with it the way you'd like to. Okay. Ground this image. So they should be both grounded to the center of the earth. And I want you to run gold energy through both of these. And then put these photos back in the box. Now, I want you to imagine that this box is filled with hundreds of photos. Every instance you've ever felt overwhelmed since you were born, all the way back in time. And you don't need to look at all of these pictures. You don't need to remember what they were. We are calling in all of the energy of all of the times you have ever felt overwhelmed in your whole life. And every picture of it is in this box. And now I want you to imagine just a waterfall of really thick gold energy coming down into this box and covering all of the photos, filling the whole box, and then seeping out of the base of the box and going down a grounding cord to the center of the earth. And I want you to do this a couple of times, and let's just really clear off a lot of this charged energy. Now I want you to look for, and whether you see it or you don't, we're going to look for cords. So energetic cords where your energy is attached to those photos. So anything that's happened in the past, and we are talking about the past, right? Unless you're in a state of overwhelm right this second. But now that we're in meditation, we have moved that energy out. So we are talking about the past, even if it was 5 minutes before you started this meditation. So we want to pull our energy out of the past. We want to pull our energy out of those scenarios and those situations, which would cause us to remember them and be able to evoke the feeling of overwhelm again, because we're still attached to it. Obviously, you could reattach if you want to, but we don't want to do that. So just imagine there are cords of your energy going to this chest. And I want you to just imagine that you're cutting those cords with a pair of scissors. Or hacking them off, whatever you want. We just cut cords, energetic cords, with all of the pictures in that box. And now I want you to imagine that you have a lollipop, a sticky, when you've kind of licked a lollipop a few times and it gets really sticky, just imagine a really sticky lollipop. And I want you to put the lollipop, it could be quite a big one. Let's say it's the size of your hand, nice big lollipop. And I want you to run it through the inside of this box, and you're clearing out everything that's sticking to this lollipop is your energy. So you're just running it through this box and it's sticking to or attaching to all of your energy. So you are kind of like a fairy floss machine where, it goes around and round and it collects the fairy floss and gets bigger and bigger. Your lollipop is collecting all of your energy off every photo through your entire life of every scenario where you felt overwhelmed. We're just, okay? Now pull out that lollipop, and above your head is the golden sun, and that is your life force energy. And I want you to put that lollipop into that golden sun and explode it. And what we're doing is returning all of your energy back to you. So you've now cut cords with all of those charged pitches of overwhelm. We've separated out. So now I want you to close the lid on the box. We're going to run gold through it one more time. So just imagine gold running through this box. Fills all the way up with gold, and then it empties out through the grounding cord. And then I want you to imagine this box going up into the air and blow it up, explode it. Okay. That is one way that we clear energy. We explode it. Knowing that your imagination is how you command energy, or it's one way at least. So we're not done with clearing out overwhelm. We're going to put up a screen in front of us, a new screen. And on that screen are all the people in your life that have ever been associated with overwhelm. Maybe they caused you overwhelm. Maybe they participated in this feeling of overwhelm. But there are people that you have had a connection to in those moments that you had overwhelm. Now, they may not have been physically present. Maybe that they sent you an email or a phone call. Anything could have happened, but there's still people involved in this picture of overwhelm. So just have them all up on a screen. You don't need to recognize their faces. You don't need to go through one by one and check everyone's accounted for. If we say they're all there, and we trust ourselves. We're working at the level of spirit now. Spirit doesn't make mistakes. So all of the people that have ever been associated with you in overwhelm, even when you were a baby, when you felt overwhelmed, they are all there on that screen. And I want you to imagine a grounding cord from the bottom of that screen to the center of the earth. And I want you to run gold through all of those people. We're going to forgive all of those people. So run gold through that screen so that every person disappears as they're covered in gold. And then all of that gold runs down the grounding cord. Okay, there's a few people that have been involved in your overwhelm that aren't clearing out of your space. So what I'm saying in this process is that you have people in your space, so the energy of them, and they would be unconscious to this. If you go and ask them in real life, hey, why are you in my space with this energy of overwhelm? They won't know what you're talking about because they're not conscious to it. Nevertheless, other people's energy can be in your space. And unless you consciously clear out, there's no guarantees it will just clear on its own. So we're going to clear it out. I'm going to clear it out for you, actually. So where I can see people that do not want to move out of your space, that do not want to release this connection to you via the energy of overwhelm, I am going to move them out myself. It doesn't affect your relationship with them in the outside world in terms of whatever relationship you have. You're not going to get into trouble. We're just moving them out. No one gets to be in your space. Your space is your own sovereign space. It belongs to you, and no one has a right to be in your space. And I am going to clean them all out right now. There's still some more energy in your space around overwhelm. So I'm just going to clear out whatever I see that's kind of stuck and doesn't want to leave. Quite a few have the energy of overwhelm in your space. It's not even yours. Someone else's overwhelm that you've picked up. Quite a few of you are healers and you're like healing people by taking on their energy, which it doesn't actually serve you or them, but we're going to clean that out now. Oh, there's a lot in your third energy center around effort, and it's so hard. And it's like some punishment energy mixed in with this overwhelm. At the same time, you're being punished by others, just clearing this energy out. Punishment's just an energy like everything else. It's nothing to worry about. We're going to clear it out. There's an element here about overwhelming your identity. It's definitely not who you are. So I'm going to clear that out of your fourth. For some of you, even just relaxing and taking it slow, or just maybe having a day where you don't do your best all the time doesn't feel safe to you. Doesn't feel safe to actually relax and be lazy. Like you're just, for some of you, like laziness is just like, no way. I'm just gonna clear that out because too much go, go, go energy. Giving yourself permission to relax. Just take your time. Put yourself first. You can be safe and take it easy. You're not going to let people down. You're not going to lose your job. Okay. So the picture of all the people you had on the screen, I want you to blow it up. And I want you to put up another screen and everything that we've talked about in this session, I want you to just put the energy of that in the screen, whether you can see it or not, and blow it up. We just want to finish up the clearing of overwhelm and we want to move into the energy that we do want to run. So I want you to have a think about what it feels like in your body when you're relaxed. So think of a time, again, if you like using the prop of a photo, you can do that. Imagine a photo in your hand of you relaxed. Is it watching TV? Is it being at the beach, on holiday? Pick a time when you were really relaxed, when your whole body was relaxed, when you just weren't thinking about the past and the future all the time. Maybe you were just in the moment, listening to music, in a conversation with someone, at a party, somewhere you were relaxed and you were present. Just imagine you're there right now and let that feeling fill you from top to bottom. And that's what it feels like to run the energy of relaxation. Now I want you to think of a time when you felt carefree. And you got up and thought, I could do this today, or I could do that today, or I could do nothing at all. And you just kind of felt quietly joyful for no reason, just carefree, got a free day, could do anything or nothing, nothing chasing you, know where you need to be. Think of a time when you felt like that. And just or imagine you're there right now and just get into the feeling of that feeling. Right, there's some energy on carefreeness, some controls on carefree. I can see you guys are being blocked from being totally carefree. Okay, let me just try and clear some of that energy for you guys. Some control energy on you being able to have your carefreeness, that you have too much responsibility to be carefree, that it's not responsible for you to be that way, that it's not being a good person to not to be carefree. So let me just clear this out of your space. You can see it's family energy, the people at work energy, people that have an opinion. All of these people are in your space telling you that you can't have this. Okay. So now try and run this carefree energy again. Just get into the feeling of being carefree. This is a lot better. I want you to think of if you were completely carefree right now and you had no responsibilities, what would you do? You go travel, you go to a cafe, what would you do? If you're completely carefree, no responsibilities, you can do anything right now. Anything in the world. Imagine the money was no object, no barrier, and you could do anything right now. What would you do if you were carefree? Let yourself really have this. Imagine it. And then go be there in your imagination. Yeah. Okay. Now we're starting to run that energy, but this would be a great exercise for you after this meditation is to do more of this imagining that you are completely carefree in these kind of scenarios, just to run that energy more through your body because you have so much control energy on responsibility. Okay, the last thing that I want you to look at now is overflow. What if your whole calendar cleared out for the rest of the week? You had nothing on, no work, no family responsibilities. Like suddenly your whole calendar was free and you have an overflow of free time. What if you just had so much energy? You just woke up like super pumped. You had this overflow of energy and vitality moving through your body. What would that feel like? You have an overflow of just space to decompress. What if you had an overflow of fun? So many things planned that are fun, or quietly doing things that you enjoy, that are fun for you. What does that feel like when you're having a lot of fun? Just feel that feeling, the feeling of fun. Okay. This is really great. So what we've been doing is when we imagine ourselves and we feel the feelings, we're running that energy through our system. we're running the kind of energy that we want to run through our system. And the more you do this kind of practice, the more normal it feels, the more easy it is to run this energy, and the more it stays in your body. And the more you're running the energy of relaxation, carefree, and fun, the more your reality will reflect more opportunities for you to feel carefree, relaxed, and fun. So I want you to just, if there's anything on a screen in front of you, just blow it up. I want you to come back to your body. I want you to wiggle your toes, just feel yourself in your body. And I want you to take a deep breath in and release it. And as and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Take some time to come out of the meditation. Thank you. I will see you in the next one.